the state of the climate system. There are ways to explain this to the public, but we haven't gotten very good at them. And the president, in fact, when PCAST met with the president some months ago to talk about this very topic, the president said to PCAST, you people have to get better at telling this story. You have to get better at explaining this. You have to get out there more so that people come to understand that the deniers are sort of in the same position that people who denied that cigarette smoking caused lung cancer were a couple of decades ago.
John, what population reduction plans have you implemented in the Obama administration?
None.
I know you talked about them, but you're just an investigative journalist, you know?
So we have to look for a vehicle here.
Is it possible that geoengineering could also serve the dual purpose to reduce the Earth's population of humans?
The danger, of course, with geoengineering is the one I was referring to a moment ago. We don't understand the system well enough to predict its responses in detail, and that means there's always a danger if you try to engineer the system on a large scale that you will do something that has side effects that are worse than the dimension of the problem you're trying to cure. Classic example is injecting reflecting particles into Earth orbit that would deflect some of the sunlight that would otherwise be warming the Earth.
Turns out, first of all, there's been a lot of work on the environmental consequences of alumina in the stratosphere. The big deal really is that alumina has 4 times the volumetric rate of forcing for small particles as does sulfur. And that means you have 4 times less surface area for the same rate of forcing. And this is a much bigger deal. You'd have roughly 16 times less the coagulation rate. And that's the thing that really drives removal. So you could get away, we think, with much smaller mass fluxes.
So that's why we see things like in the use aircraft patent from '89, they talk about aluminum. And that's why we're seeing in the surface water samples aluminum. And here's David Keith saying that aluminum has 4 times the reflective volume surface area. So they'd like us to think that we're talking about sulfur, but here they slipped up and let it out that aluminum is 4 times better to achieving their ends, and it sounds like it's going to be one they don't want us to know the effects of.
The little picture is from a nanofabrication study, which shows you can make very high quality, and do this in just a jet in a very simple way, make high quality alumina particles just by spraying aluminum vapor out, which oxidizes. So it's certainly in principle possible to do that. There's a big literature that's already looked at that. And you could do that by either building new versions of these aircraft or even re-engineering existing aircraft. So there's some ideas of that. So you go to an engineering firm and you want this done. They don't say this is hard or unusual. They say, okay, yes, we could do it.
Is it possible that geoengineering could also serve the dual purpose to reduce the Earth's population of humans?
No.
No.
And for aluminum or other particles, there are a lot of toxicological things that need to get looked at seriously. But if you're just thinking about the sheer number of particles and the human health impact of small particles, the answer is, well, we haven't published it. That was the first thing we looked at with some of the leading experts who do epidemiological research on human health impacts, and it's not even close to being an issue.
Clarify, so 10 megatons of aluminum dumped into the atmosphere would have no human health impact.
So let me be more careful here. We're to separate out the toxicological. So the alumina, we've only begun to research and published nothing. The alumina, we've only begun to research and published nothing. We haven't done anything serious on alumina, and so there could be something terrible that we'll find tomorrow. We haven't looked at it.
What type of implementation of geoengineering projects have you looked into? Has anything been approved of yet?
No.
I think that's probably your guy over there.
And I have a mentor.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm not.
I probably had many.
Huh?
Right over there.
Are there any plans to forcibly sterilize any third world countries anytime soon to reduce global footprint, carbon footprint? Have you recommended sterilizing any of your own family members?
John, don't be sad. This is sad stuff, man. This is sad stuff, John. Don't get down on yourself. You can still do good things.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Wow.